So you found water in your basement floor. You didn't know where it was coming from, and you finally figured out that it's coming from the fireplace or chimney cleanout door. And it might look something like this in the picture because water's been dripping through it and it's rusted out the metal door. And let me get my pointer going. There's my pointer. So it rusts out at the bottom because the water, there's a pit under here, and the pit is getting water in it, and then it's overflowing and running out and causing stains like this. So a lot of people think that the water's coming from the top of the chimney, right? Where else could it be coming from? So you can see I inspect homes for a living here in the Detroit area, Macomb County, Michigan, and I see a lot of this. Chimney split apart, water can run down in there and run all the way into the basement, even in a two-story house, and cause leaking in the basement or in a second floor bedroom or the first floor living room, wherever the water can find a way. But you went up on your chimney, it looks more like this. Someone tarred the top of this one, maybe because they thought there was water getting in and it was leaking into the basement. That could be. It could be doing that. Could absolutely be doing that. But if your chimney looks like this one, your chimney cap, this is the top of a chimney if I didn't mention that. So that's the cap. If yours looks like that, water probably isn't coming from there. It's coming from the ground. So this is a section drawing of a chimney. So your furnace would be over here, and then your water heater and furnace might pipe into that old chimney. This is mostly seen in old homes, okay? New homes aren't built this way anymore. And it goes out there and it goes up through the chimney stack on the roof. But then you got this pit. This is your clean out door here. And then this is the whole chimney. That's the footing underneath. This is the basement floor over here, okay, just to orient you. So water is getting in this pit somehow, and it could be running down from the roof. That could be happening, but I doubt it. What's probably happening is this is the ground out here. Groundwater is seeping through and getting in that pit, okay? So whether it's a block basement or a poured foundation, doesn't matter. Especially if this chimney is outside the wall, so the chimney is, kind of sticking outside of the exterior wall. Those are more prone to it than the ones that are inside. This one shows inside, so you can see the brick veneer on the house there, and this is the foundation. So this one's inside, but they're also outside, okay? But they can both leak. So this pit fills up with water, and you got to get a lot of water. If it just rains a little bit, it doesn't leak, right? Everybody says that, oh, it just rained a little bit, it didn't leak. But we got this torrential downpour and it leaked. So this pit has to fill up with water. That's why you get a lot of water in there. Then it runs over and comes out that door, rusts it out, and runs across the floor, right? So now you're wondering, well, how do I fix it? Let me show you. I've got a couple options for you. So let me just say, if you call a foundation company over there, they'll want to dig up the outside of your house and tar the wall. Oh, the water, hydrostatic pressure. Everybody loves to say hydrostatic pressure. It's pushing it through, and we got to waterproof it and dig it up, and it'll be several $1,000s, maybe 10,000. They may talk you into doing the whole foundation. It might be 20 or $40,000. Okay, let me tell you how to fix it for a lot less. This is one ingenious move I saw a guy do. So here's your clean out door. He drilled a hole through the foundation and into that pit, and then he put this PVC tubing in there. This is rigid pipe, and he sealed it here probably with some, silicone caulk. Sealed it there so it drains the water out, and you can run this pipe over to the nearest drain in the floor if you have them in your basement. Newer homes don't have too many floor drains. They might have one by the furnace and that's it. So you could run it there if you want. Or you could run it all the way to the sump pit if that's nearby. They'll usually put the sump pit in the mechanical area near the furnace, and now this is the water heater. So usually the sump pit's near that, so it doesn't mess up your basement too much if you want to finish it, right? So that's what they do. So that's a good move. You can do that. You need a big drill bit and a good strong drill, probably one that you would have to rent from Home Depot unless you're a contractor. And you'll have to buy the bit. I don't think they rent bits. You have to buy the bit, which might be 50, 60, $70 for that bit. But that will work if you seal it good. Okay. Another option, let's see what we got here. Another option is to do this. I've got various pictures of various houses from this. This is a rod hole leak over here, by the way. The water's running down. But anyhow, what you could do is, again, go to Home Depot. Or Home Depot is the only one that rents tools around here. Lowe's doesn't rent them. Lowe's and Menards don't rent tools. Only Home Depot does near me. So what you do is you go to Home Depot, you rent the jackhammer, and bust up the floor here a little bit. Now you'll run into the footing. There's a footing under there. So this basement floor is about 4 inches thick. So you'll go down about 4 inches and you'll hit the footing, and you can stop there, bust this out a little bit more past the footing. Okay, so the footing's going to stick out a few inches past the wall. Okay, so you can bust it out. I should have drew this out a little bit farther. I should have drew that line probably out to about here. So bust out about that much of it. So you can see the dirt when you look down in there. You don't want to see the footing. Don't bust up the footing with the jackhammer. You need your footing. Just bust up the 4-inch thick floor out to about here. Okay, that's all you need to do. So you can see dirt. You should be able to see dirt or sand or gravel, whatever's under your basement floor. Okay. Then once you get that done, oh, here's why you do it. So I used to teach high school construction. So there's a drainage system under your basement floor, whether you know it or not. The water just doesn't soak into the ground. It's supposed to go into your drainage system. But as houses age, the drainage system begins to fail. It fills up with muck, sludge, tree roots, whatever. So these are my students installing a drainage system under what's going to be a basement floor. So there's that footing I was talking about. That's going to be in front of your little chimney cleanout door. So you want to go past the footing. You might not have to, but I think it's probably a good idea if you do go past the footing. What we're trying to do is get the water to go under the floor, just so you understand. And water will find its way through there. But if you don't have a good path, it might start to back up there. So go a little bit past that footing so you see dirt. But this is the drainage system. These are the pipes. And this was a new house, so these pipes lead to a sump pump. If you have a house without a sump pump, they lead to the storm sewer. Okay, so either one. So you have a drainage system under the house. You're trying to get that water to go into the drainage system. That's the objective here, okay? Just so you understand. So what you want to do is underneath that chimney door is, once you get that floor busted up, you want to put a piece of plastic under there to catch the water from about the bottom of the chimney door down into the floor, because you're going to fill that hole back in with some concrete, right? So you don't have a big hole in your floor. So you're going to fill it in. You'll just have a little gap there for the water to go into. Now this is a basement waterproofing material that they use called Delta MS. You can see it there. They only sell it in huge rolls like this, and it's expensive. But if you know someone who does that, there you go. This is for a waterproofing job we were doing. This is the drain tile right here, the French drain. This pipe is full of thousands of holes, and it allows water in so it can go to the sump pit, because again, your basement has a drainage system under it. Whether it's working or not, I don't know, but it had one at one time. So the Delta MS looks like this. It's very expensive. You don't want to buy a whole roll. So what you want to do is get some other plastic corrugated material. This is just like a dimple material. It just would hold the concrete away from the wall when you pour your new concrete back in after you bust that hole in the floor, right? That's the only thing we want to do here. So what you could do is get something like this. This is that plastic corrugated material that they sell for roofing at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. So you just need a little piece of that, or any kind of corrugated plastic material. It could be anything. So you stick that down in there. You stick that down after you bust this out right here. You stick that up against the wall there to catch the water as it comes out. And really, this is you might not even need that. You might just need to bust that hole in there, then put a piece of something in there, whatever, and then pour the concrete around it. Put a release agent, whatever you put in there to form your gap, like whether it's a piece of wood or foam or whatever, I would spray it with a little bit of vegetable oil or something so that as a release agent so the concrete doesn't stick to your gap item. And then when the concrete's set up a little bit, pull that piece of whatever out of there, and then you have a nice gap in the floor, and then the water will have a place to run to, and it'll run under the floor and into your drainage system. Problem solved. So that's what you want to do there. So whether or not you use the plastic corrugated material up on the wall or not, that's up to you. I'm thinking you don't even need it, but it looks a little nicer and more professional, I guess. So I am Matt Fletcher, and I'm a home inspector of 26 years, and I used to be a high school construction teacher, and now I teach the home inspection trade online, Global Inspector Certification Association. So tell all your friends. Thanks for watching.